Do you feel it? That restlessness in your chest, the exhaustion that comes from carrying something you were never meant to put down alone. Have you been wondering why the struggle has lasted so long? Why the test feels endless? Why everyone around you seems to be moving forward while you've been standing still in the fire? Chosen one, stop right there. This is not random. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. God Himself orchestrated this moment. He saw you in your midnight hour, and He said, "Enough. It's time to tell them everything." You have passed the test, not because you were perfect, not because you had all the answers, but because you stayed. You stood when others fell. You believed when others walked away. And now, heaven is about to open over your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Like a seed buried beneath the soil, you have been hidden in divine darkness. Pressed down, covered, forgotten by the world. But God was never absent. He was preparing you. Every tear you cried watered the ground. Every prayer you whispered broke through the soil. And now, chosen one, it is time to bloom. Feel that pressure pushing through your chest. That's not anxiety. That's destiny knocking. You've endured storms that would have destroyed others. You've walked through valleys that had no visible end. Before we go deeper, I need you to do something powerful right now. Pause this video, hit that like button, and subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls who are awakening to their divine purpose. Your engagement amplifies this message, sending it to others who need to hear it. If you feel this truth stirring in your spirit, drop a 777 in the comments below. That number carries divine energy signaling to the universe that you're ready to receive the blessings God has prepared for you. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just giving, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay with me until the end. Chosen one, because this message is meant for you, and it will change everything. Let me tell you what God showed me about you. You've always known you were different, haven't you? Deep in your soul, you felt a fire, a calling, a sense that you were born for something greater. Maybe you couldn't put it into words, but you've carried a knowing that your life was meant to leave a mark. That feeling wasn't an accident. It was God whispering to your soul, reminding you of the divine blueprint He etched into your very being. You are not here by chance. You are here by design. Every moment of your life, every triumph, every setback, every tear, every victory has been orchestrated to bring you to this exact moment. You are God's chosen one, anointed with a purpose so powerful that nothing in heaven or on earth can stand in your way. Your resilience is a testimony to His glory. And now it's time to step into the fullness of what He has prepared. The gates are opening. The blessings are flowing. Your breakthrough is not coming. It's already here. Why did it have to hurt so much? Why did God allow you to walk through valleys so dark? You couldn't see your own hands in front of your face. Why did the betrayal cut so deep? The loneliness stretch so long? The waiting feels so unbearable? Listen to me, chosen one. Every single tear you cried, every sleepless night you endured, every moment you felt forgotten by heaven itself. It was not punishment. It was preparation. God wasn't absent in your pain. He was present in it, sculpting you, refining you, making you ready for what's coming next. You see, the world looks at suffering and calls it failure, but God looks at suffering and calls it the furnace. And beloved, you've been in that furnace. Not because you were weak, but because what God is preparing you for requires a level of strength that can only be forged in fire. Think about Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers, the very people who should have protected him, thrown into a pit, stripped of his coat, his identity, his dignity, betrayed by those closest to him. Can you imagine that pain, the confusion, the heartbreak, the questioning of everything he thought he knew about his life and his purpose? But here's what the enemy didn't know. That pit wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Every chain that bound Joseph, every lie that was told about him, every year he spent in prison for a crime he didn't commit, it was divine preparation for the palace. God was positioning him, not punishing him. The throne was waiting, but first the fire had to do its work. Your story is no different. The pit you were in that season, when everything fell apart, when relationships crumbled, when doors slammed shut, when your prayers seemed to bounce off the ceiling, that was your preparation. The betrayal you faced, it wasn't random cruelty. It was pruning. God was cutting away everything that couldn't come with you into your next season. You've felt abandoned, haven't you? There were nights when you cried out to God and heard nothing but silence. Mornings when you woke up and the weight on your chest was so heavy you could barely breathe. Days when you looked around and saw everyone else living their dreams while you were stuck in what felt like an endless nightmare. But beloved, let me tell you what was really happening. While you were in that wilderness, God was teaching you to rely on His strength alone. He was stripping away your dependence on people, on circumstances, on your own understanding. Because what's coming next is so big, so supernatural, so beyond human capability that you cannot carry it in your own strength. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Not if you walk through, not maybe you'll walk through, but even though. God knew the valley was part of the journey. He knew the darkness was necessary, because in that darkness, you learned to hear His voice like never before. Your hardships were chisels in God's hand. Every blow that felt like it would break you was actually shaping you. Every loss was making room for overflow. Every closed door was redirecting you toward the one door that was always meant to open. You are not the same person who entered that trial. You are stronger, wiser, more aligned with divine purpose than you've ever been. And here's what the enemy fears most about you right now. You didn't just survive. You came out radiant. You walked through the fire and you didn't get burned. You went through the flood and you didn't drown. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace, you emerged without even the smell of smoke on you. That's not luck. That's divine protection. That's the mark of a chosen one. And you, chosen one, you had to go through what you went through to be who you're about to become. The rejection taught you that God's approval is the only approval that matters. The loneliness taught you how to stand alone when everyone else walks away. The loss taught you that everything you need is already inside you because God lives in you. If you've been through the fire, if you've walked through valleys that had no name, if you've endured seasons that tested every ounce of your faith, I want you to do something right now. Type refined in the comments. Let the world know you've come out stronger. Declare that you are not a victim, you are a victor. Because here's the truth that's about to shift everything. You've been through the wilderness, but God is preparing to bring you into the land of promise. The time is now, not someday, not eventually. Now. The doors are already moving. The blessings are already in motion. Your promotion is already signed in heaven. So, here's what I need you to understand as we move forward. The pain had a purpose. The test had a timeline. And chosen one, you passed. Now it's time to step into everything God has been preparing you for. Now that you understand the purpose of your pain, it's time to reveal the truth about who you really are. Because chosen one, you've been living beneath your identity for far too long. You've been believing the lies the world told you instead of the truth God declared over you before you were even born. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to blend in, to shrink back to play small, to settle for a life of mediocrity. The moment God breathed life into you, He stamped you with divine purpose. You are not an accident. You are not a backup plan. You are His masterpiece, created with intention, anointed with power, destined for greatness. Let me tell you what God sees when He looks at you. He doesn't see your failures. He doesn't see your past. He doesn't see the mistakes you've made or the times you fell short. He sees a warrior, a world changer, a carrier of His glory. He sees someone who is handpicked, set apart, chosen for such a time as this. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Did you catch that? Before you took your first breath, God already prepared the works you would do. Your purpose was written before your problems ever showed up. Your destiny was sealed before the enemy ever tried to stop you. But the world tried to convince you otherwise, didn't it? People labeled you. Circumstances defined you. Setbacks made you question whether you were really called at all. The enemy whispered lies in your ear, telling you that you weren't good enough, smart enough, strong enough, worthy enough to carry what God placed inside you. And maybe, just maybe, you started to believe it. Maybe you looked at your life and saw brokenness instead of beauty. Maybe you saw your struggles and thought God made a mistake. Maybe you felt so ordinary, so invisible, so unremarkable that you wondered if you even mattered at all. But beloved, let me shatter that lie right now. You matter more than you could ever comprehend. Your existence shifts atmospheres. Your presence disrupts darkness. Your very breath is a testimony to God's faithfulness. You are not who people say you are. You are who God says you are. And here's what God says. 1 Peter 2:9 declares, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light." Read that again. Chosen people, royal priesthood, holy nation, God's special possession. Think about David, a shepherd boy, the youngest, the overlooked, the one nobody paid attention to. When the prophet Samuel came to anoint the next king of Israel, David's own father didn't even bother to bring him in from the fields. He was forgotten, dismissed, considered too insignificant to even be in the room. But God said, "Bring him to me," because while man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. And when David walked in, still smelling like sheep, still covered in dust, still looking nothing like a king, God said, "That's the one, anoint him." The world saw a boy. God saw a king. That's you right now. The world may have overlooked you, underestimated, you counted you out. But God is saying, "That's the one I've chosen. That's the one I'm anointing. That's the one I'm about to elevate in ways that will shock everyone who doubted them." You are a lighthouse on a stormy night, chosen one. While the world is drowning in darkness, chaos, fear, and confusion, your light is shining brighter than ever. People are lost at sea, tossed by waves, battered by storms, desperately searching for something real, something solid, something that will guide them to safety. And that's where you come in. Your life is not just about you. Your breakthrough is not just for you. Your testimony is not just for you. You are a beacon of hope, a carrier of light, a vessel of divine purpose sent to guide others home. Your light doesn't just shine, it radiates. It pierces through the deepest darkness. It draws people out of their pits and points them toward the Father. That's your assignment. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Stop shrinking back because people don't understand your calling. Stop apologizing for the anointing God placed on your life. You were made to stand out. You were created to disrupt the ordinary. So, I'm going to ask you to do something powerful right now. I want you to declare your identity. Type, "I am chosen," in the comments. Not because you feel it, not because you see it yet, but because God said it, and that settles it. Solidify your purpose in this divine moment. Let the spiritual realm know that you are awake, you are aware, and you are ready to walk in everything God called you to be. So, the only question left is this: are you ready to stop living beneath your calling and start walking in the fullness of who God created you to be? Now that you understand what you've been through, now that you see the purpose behind the pain, there's something God needs you to do before the floodgates open, before the blessing pours out, before the miracles manifest, before the doors swing wide. There must be purification. Not because you're dirty, but because what's coming is so sacred, so holy, so powerful, that it requires a clean vessel to carry it. Chosen one, listen carefully. God is about to pour out more than you've asked for, more than you've dreamed of, more than your natural mind can even comprehend. But He cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. He cannot release supernatural overflow into a vessel that's still holding on to residue from the past. Before the blessing comes, the cleansing. Before the promotion comes, the purification. Before the palace comes, the preparation. This is not symbolic. This is not metaphorical. This is a divine command spoken directly into your spirit right now. God is saying, prepare yourself, consecrate yourself, make yourself ready. because what I'm about to release cannot be received in your current state. I need you clean. I need you pure. I need you aligned. Think about the priests in the Old Testament. Before they could enter the Holy of Holies, before they could stand in God's presence, before they could minister, before the Lord, they had to wash. Not just their hands, but their feet, their bodies, their garments. It wasn't optional. It was required. Because you cannot carry the holy while holding on to the unclean. And right now, God is raising you up as a priest in His kingdom. You're not just a believer. You're a carrier of His presence. You're not just saved. You're sanctified for a specific assignment. And that assignment requires a level of purity that most people never walk in because they're unwilling to do what it takes to get there. 1 Samuel 15:22 makes it clear to obey is better than sacrifice. God isn't asking you to bring Him offerings while your heart is still holding on to disobedience. He's asking you to listen, to align, to surrender. He's asking you to cleanse not just your actions, but your intentions. Not just your words, but your thoughts. Not just your body, but your spirit. Just as you wash your hands to cleanse your body, God is asking you to wash your soul every single day. This isn't about physical water alone. This is about spiritual purification. It's about standing before God and saying, "Search me, cleanse me, remove anything in me that blocks your flow. I want to be a pure vessel, a clean channel, a sanctified instrument for your glory." God doesn't bless mess. He blesses obedience. He doesn't pour out on contamination. He pours out on consecration. And chosen one, you've been called to a level of blessing that requires a level of purity most people never commit to. That's why most people never walk in the fullness of what God has for them. They want the overflow, but they won't do the cleansing. But not you. You're different. You've come too far to stop now. You've been through too much to settle for less than everything God promised. You're willing to do what others won't, so you can have what others can't. And that willingness, that obedience, that daily discipline, it's the key that unlocks the vault of heaven over your life. Picture water flowing through a pipe. If the pipe is clogged, dirty, blocked with residue, the water can't flow freely. It trickles, it backs up, it gets contaminated. But when that pipe is clean, when it's clear, when it's pure, the water flows with power, with force, with abundance. You are that pipe. God's blessings are that water. And the cleansing is what removes every blockage so the flow can be unstoppable. This is urgent. This is not something you put off until you feel like it. This is not something you do when it's convenient. This is a divine command for this specific moment. God is positioning you for breakthrough, but you have to position yourself to receive it. And that positioning begins with purification. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you rush into your day, before you speak a single word to another person, go to God. Cleanse yourself. Pray over your feet and declare, "Every place I walk today is territory I'm claiming for the kingdom." Wash your body and speak life over your creative energy. Center yourself and ask God to realign your spirit with His will. Right now, I need you to make a decision. This isn't passive. This isn't something you nod along to and forget in 5 minutes. This is a commitment, a covenant, a declaration before heaven that you are choosing purity over convenience, obedience over comfort, consecration over compromise. Type, "I am cleansed" in the comments right now. Declare it publicly. Let the world see your commitment. Let heaven witness your obedience. Because when you declare it, when you commit to it, when you walk in it daily, you activate something in the spiritual realm that cannot be stopped. You set in motion a chain reaction of blessing that will touch every area of your life. As you cleanse, watch what happens. The doors of opportunity will open. The relationships that are meant for you will align. The finances that have been held back will be released. The health that's been declining will be restored. The peace that's been elusive will settle over your life like a blanket. Not because you're perfect, but because you're purified. Not because you're sinless, but because you're surrendered. This is your moment. This is your turning point. The cleansing isn't a burden. It's a bridge. It's the pathway from where you've been to where you're going. And chosen one where you're going is so much greater than where you've been. So commit to the cleansing. Walk in daily purification. And watch God do what only He can do. Now listen closely, chosen one, because what I'm about to tell you will shift your entire reality. The season of barely getting by is over. The days of scraping together just enough are finished. God is about to open floodgates over your life that have been sealed for years, and when they open, the overflow will be so massive that you won't have room to contain it all. You've been living in survival mode for so long that you've forgotten what thriving looks like. You've been praying for breakthrough, for provision, for a way out, and God has heard every single prayer. But here's what you need to understand. He's not just answering your prayers. He's exceeding them. What's coming isn't just enough. It's more than enough. It's abundance that defies logic, provision that makes no earthly sense, blessings that leave you speechless. Malachi 3:10 says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this," says the Lord Almighty, "and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it." Read that again. Not room enough to store it. That's the kind of overflow God is releasing over your life right now. Imagine your life as a cup. For years, that cup has been half empty, sometimes nearly dry. You've been rationing what little you had, stretching every resource, making miracles out of scraps. But God is about to fill that cup, not halfway, not to the brim. He's filling it to overflowing. And when it overflows, it won't just bless you. It will spill out onto your family, your community, everyone you touch. This isn't just about financial blessing, though that's coming. This is about divine abundance in every area of your life. Your health is about to be restored. Your relationships are about to be healed. Your mind is about to experience peace that surpasses all understanding. Your purpose is about to become so clear, so undeniable, that you'll wonder how you ever doubted it. God is not a God of lack. He is a God of abundance. He doesn't give you just enough to survive. He gives you more than enough to thrive. Ephesians 3:20 declares, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." Immeasurably more. Not just what you asked for, not just what you imagined, more than you could conceive in your wildest dreams. Think about the widow of Zarephath. She had one meal left, just enough flour and oil for one final loaf of bread before she and her son would starve. But when the prophet Elijah asked her to make him bread first, she obeyed. And what happened? That jar of flour didn't run out. That jug of oil didn't go dry. Day after day, week after week, there was always enough. That's supernatural provision. That's overflow. And beloved, that same God who provided for her is about to provide for you. The doors that have been closed are swinging wide open. The opportunities that seemed impossible are aligning right now. The connections you need are being drawn into your life. The favor that bypasses protocol, that defies the odds, that makes a way where there is no way, it's already moving in your direction. But here's what you need to understand about this blessing. It's not just for you. God is blessing you to make you a blessing. He's pouring into you so you can pour into others. You are being positioned not just to receive, but to give, to transform lives, to shift atmospheres, to change the trajectory of generations. Think about Joseph again. When he was elevated to second in command of Egypt, it wasn't just so he could live in luxury. It was so he could save nations from famine. His blessing had a purpose. His overflow fed millions. Your blessing is the same. God is giving you resources, influence, and authority so you can be a channel of his love to a hurting world. This is your Esther moment. You've been prepared for such a time as this. Everything you've been through, every skill you've acquired, every lesson you've learned, it was all preparation for this season. You are being positioned in places of influence where you can impact lives, break chains, and release others into their destinies. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant." This wealth, this abundance, this overflow, it's not just about your comfort. It's about confirming God's covenant. It's about showing the world that he is faithful, that his promises are true, that he keeps his word. Your finances are about to experience a supernatural shift. Money that was held up is being released. Debts that seemed insurmountable are being canceled. Opportunities for increase are opening from directions you never anticipated. But more than that, your mind is about to experience clarity like never before. Confusion is lifting. Divine wisdom is flowing. You're about to make decisions with a level of discernment that only comes from heaven. Your body is about to experience restoration. That pain you've been carrying, it's leaving. That illness that's been plaguing you, it's being healed. That exhaustion that's weighed you down, it's being replaced with supernatural energy and vitality. God is renewing your strength. Isaiah 40:31 promises, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Your relationships are about to experience breakthrough. Walls that have stood for years are coming down. Hearts that were hardened are softening. Prodigals are coming home. Divine connections are being formed. People who are meant to walk with you into your destiny are being drawn into your orbit right now. You are about to experience the kind of unity, love, and support you've been praying for. But the greatest overflow is this. Your purpose is about to explode into clarity and manifestation. You've known you were called for something greater, but you couldn't quite see it. The fog is lifting. The vision is becoming crystal clear. And beloved, what God is revealing to you about your calling will take your breath away. It's bigger than you imagined. It's more impactful than you dreamed. It's more anointed than you could have conceived. Get ready for the overflow. I'm not talking about a trickle. I'm talking about a flood. I'm not talking about just enough. I'm talking about more than you can handle, so much that you have to give it away. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Your cup is overflowing, chosen one. And everyone who doubted you, everyone who counted you out, everyone who said you'd never make it, they're about to see God's favor on your life in undeniable ways. If you're ready for this overflow, if you're ready to receive more than enough, if you're ready for God to pour out blessings you don't have room to contain, I need you to declare it right now. Type overflow in the comments. Let heaven know you're ready. Let the enemy know his time is up. Let the world know that God's chosen one is about to step into abundance. Because this isn't just about wealth. This is about divine purpose. You are being positioned to not only receive, but to give and transform lives. You are about to become a fountain of blessing in your family, your workplace, your community, your world. And the impact you're about to make will echo through generations. Your overflow is about to change everything. Are you ready? Listen to me very carefully right now. This moment, this exact moment you're in, is not an accident. It's an appointment. A divine intersection where heaven breaks into your reality and says, "The time is now." God has chosen you for greatness. Not the kind of greatness the world celebrates with hollow applause and fleeting fame. The kind of greatness that shifts atmospheres, breaks generational curses, and rewrites the destiny of everyone connected to your bloodline. But here's what you need to understand. God has already done his part. Now you must do yours. He's opened the door, but you have to walk through it. He's cleared the path, but you have to take the step. He's prepared the abundance, but you have to reach out your hands and receive it. This is not a passive moment. This is a moment of decision. A moment where faith becomes action, where belief becomes movement, where promise becomes possession. Think about David standing in that valley staring at Goliath. Everyone else saw an undefeatable giant. David saw a divine assignment. Everyone else heard mockery and insults. David heard opportunity and destiny. The giant was already defeated in David's mind before the stone ever left his hand. Why? Because David understood something that most people miss. The battle isn't won in the moment of confrontation, it's won in the moment of decision. David decided he was walking away victorious before he ever picked up that stone. And that decision, that unshakable certainty, is what activated God's supernatural intervention. You're standing in your valley right now. The giant in front of you might look like debt sickness, broken relationships, failed dreams, or delayed promises. It might tower over you, casting shadows that make you feel small and powerless. But I'm here to tell you what God told David, that giant is already defeated. You just have to claim the victory. 1 Samuel 17:47 says, "The battle is the Lord's, not yours, His." Your job isn't to figure out how the victory happens. Your job is to step onto the battlefield with absolute confidence that God has already written the ending and you win. How many blessings have passed you by because you stood still, waiting for permission you already had? How many opportunities knocked on your door while you were too afraid to answer? How many times did God send provision and you rejected it because it didn't look the way you expected no more? That version of you, the hesitant, doubting, waiting version, that's not who you are anymore. You're a chosen one. You're a giant slayer. You're a history maker. And it's time to start walking like it. I need you to do something right now that's going to activate everything we've been talking about. This isn't symbolic. This is spiritual warfare. When you make a public declaration of faith, you're not just encouraging yourself. You're putting the enemy on notice that his time stealing from you is over. Type yes in the comments right now. Not maybe, not hopefully. Yes. A bold, unshakable, faith-filled yes that declares yes. I am ready to step into my purpose. Yes. Receive the abundance God has prepared for me. Yes. I am done waiting and ready to walk into my destiny. Yes. I believe God's duty to provide for me is already in effect. When you type yes, you're planting a seed in the spiritual realm. You're drawing a line in the sand. You're making a covenant declaration that aligns you with God's will and activates His promises over your life. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt silence you. The world needs to see your faith. The people watching you need to see someone bold enough to believe God at His word. Your yes isn't just for you, it's for the person reading the comments who's on the edge of giving up, who needs to see one more person choose faith over fear. Type yes and watch what God does. Watch how doors start opening. Watch how provision starts flowing. Watch how opportunities start manifesting. Your yes is the key that unlocks everything heaven has been holding for you. So, I'm asking you one final time, are you ready? Are you truly ready to step into everything God has prepared for you, to live in overflow, to walk in authority, to become the testimony that changes lives and shifts generations? If your answer is yes, then type it, declare it, shout it into the digital atmosphere. Let heaven hear your decision, and let hell tremble at your boldness. This is your moment, chosen one. Your breakthrough is now. Your destiny is here. Your season of abundance is activated. Step into it with boldness, with unwavering faith, with absolute certainty that the God who called you is faithful to complete what He started. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are unstoppable. Now go claim what's already yours. Type yes and step into your destiny. The world is waiting for you to rise. So, what are you going to do with this moment? Are you going to let it fade like every other inspiration that came and went? Or are you finally ready to believe that God meant every single word He spoke over your life? Because here's what I need you to understand. This isn't just another message you stumbled across. This is a divine appointment, a turning point. The moment heaven has been orchestrating since before you were born. And what you do in the next 60 seconds will determine whether you walk forward into everything God promised or stay stuck in the same cycle that's been draining your joy for years. Numbers 23:19 settles it. God is not a man that he should lie. If he said it, it's done. Your breakthrough isn't coming, it's here. Your season isn't approaching, you're in it. The blessings aren't on the way, they're manifesting right now as you receive this word with faith. May the peace of God, the kind that makes no logical sense in your circumstances, surround you as you step forward. May his blessings overflow in every area where you've experienced lack. May you walk with divine purpose so clear that doubt becomes impossible and joy so deep that circumstances can't touch it. But don't walk this path alone. Subscribe right now. Hit that like button. Share this message with someone who needs to hear that their test is over and their testimony is beginning. Together, we're walking into the destiny God has prepared, and nothing will stop us. Together, we will walk into the destiny God has prepared for us. Welcome home, chosen one.